Great.
All right, well, happy Thursday, everyone.
You too.
I hope you are all fired up and coffeeed up, as I like to say. Um, my name's Mike Indeglio. I work here at Schoology in New York City. So if you hear fire trucks and cabs and things flying by, that is why. I'm in the heart of New York right now. To just give you a quick hello, this is my mug, so that I'm not just an omnipotent floating voice for the remainder of this hour. That's me. That's me smiling. I promise I'll be smiling for the next hour. Um, I've been working with Schoology since 2012, almost since the very beginning. I think I was one of the first 20 or so employees. So I've seen not only the company grow over the past 4 years, but I've seen the product grow pretty substantially. So I'm excited to kind of give you guys a quick down and dirty tour today. Just a couple of things. As we're going through some items, if you have any questions, feel free to just kind of interrupt me and ask. I find that it's kind of difficult via kind of webinar to try to curate questions, so feel free to just shout at me out of turn. I won't take offense. My wife does it daily, so it's not a problem. Also, just to let you guys know, my true belief is that the only really way to learn the ins and outs of this program is just by exploration. So know that you can't break anything on the system. Nothing actually resides on your computer. It's all taking place via the cloud, or the internet in the sky, as I call it. So I do encourage you, since we don't have a lot of time today to specifically work on various items, I encourage you to kind of just watch what I'm doing, maybe look at some things on your side as well. But at the end of the day, take a look at this video and just try some things on your own time. I think it's just the easiest way to really learn everything. So that said, the next little question in our slide deck here that they ask us to relay is this: what is Schoology question? And the answer is pretty easy. We're an LMS, and I'm sure at this point you know what an LMS is. But we're really kind of getting away from just the one moniker learning management system, and we're moving to what we're calling an educational cloud. All right, and the reason we call that, the reason we're coining that term, is because the true goal is to start utilizing Schoology to facilitate everything surrounding your teaching or your kind of educational community. So this isn't just an in-class tool. Okay, we're really hoping that it can stretch out and beyond that. So yes, within Schoology you'll have your courses and your course content, and inside the platform you'll also be able to engage students in participation. But also, I want to show you some quick ways where you can utilize this as a sharing, a collaborative tool for sharing resources. We'll also take a look at groups quickly today. Groups are a great place to go outside the classroom with Schoology and share communication and items, maybe via extracurricular activities or groups, teams, sports teams, clubs inside the school, or even cohorts, maybe departmental cohorts, to share materials within various departments, depending on how the platform is going to be utilized on your end, of course. And we integrate with a lot of different websites, and I want to show you a couple of quick ways to bring outside items inside of Schoology, because it's a great way to just kind of gather all of the tools you use across the web and house them in one place. That's what we're really going for. We're going to do that through three main areas in our platform, and we break those down into what we call your courses, all right? And that's all of your actual in-course instructional materials. You've got groups, and that's quickly what I mentioned before about outside of the classroom collections of users, and that's great for targeting communication to different bodies of users. And then at the top, you'll see resources. And resources is a personal area on your side housed within Schoology with no storage limits, which is basically a digital filing cabinet where you can store just items maybe from your personal computer or things you've used in the classroom before. You can store them in our little filing cabinet in the cloud. And you can also build things there. And what's great about resources is that you'll start to see that once you've created something in Schoology or brought it in from the outside, you never have to recreate that. All right. So I always use the example: if I teach a 7th grade math class for 2016, in 2017, I don't have to recreate that class. I can just save it to my resource area, and then in 2017, I can import it back into the new class, and everything's done for me. So that being said, I'm going to jump right on in here. Go ahead and close this down. All right. When you're logged into Schoology, you're going to see this main view, this main page here. Okay. And that, regardless of what school you're working with or what institution and whatever branding might look like up here, you'll still always have this top navigation bar. Okay. This is going to be persistent no matter where you go in Schoology, which is really helpful. Even myself, who's been working with the platform for 4 years, sometimes you get drilled down into a deep folder somewhere and you're kind of confused as to what you're looking at. You've always got this, what I call the Wizard of Oz button. No place like home. Anytime you click home, you'll get back to this main screen and you'll be able to kind of reorient yourself. This screen hopefully will look familiar to any of you that have utilized any sort of social media platform before. We're loosely modeled after the social media kind of aesthetic. And you'll notice a 3-column layout. Okay. In this far left column, I call this the navigational column. So anything you select on this left-hand side, it is what is going to feed into this center side, or the center channel, okay? So currently we're on recent activity. And you can think of recent activity in Schoology as sort of like your Facebook news feed, okay? I think that's the most one-to-one analogy, all right? So every course and every group that I'm associated with as a user, there are posts that are made to that course. And all of those are consolidated for me within my recent activity feed. So my recent activity feed is going to look different than yours. And yours is going to look different every time that you join a new group or a new course. And that's whether you're joining that as a student or as an instructor. All right, so you'll see that I'm a member of this blended learning group. And today, Darren here posted something inside of the group, inclusive of a link, as you can see. And what's nice is that instead of having to navigate into my groups dropdown and go into that group, all right, to see the posts, I can see it right here in my recent activity feed. And not only that, but this is a live feed, meaning that I can go ahead and click on that link. It'll open for me in a new tab so I can look at what he's talking about. Or if I wanted to comment, I could click on this comment area, just like on social media, and leave a comment, or I could give him a like if I thought that was a useful link. All right, so what's nice is that these little, you can interact with these posts right here in your recent activity feed. And this recent activity feed is chronological, and it'll go back to the beginning of my time with Schoology, and I can keep clicking more to load more of these instances. And you'll see that this was posted into another group I'm a part of, and I can play that video right in line. So the recent activity feed is a great place to come and kind of get an overview of the different posts that have been made in all of your groups and courses. Back on that navigational column, if I go from recent activity into calendar, all right, you'll notice that now that I've selected that, it'll feed into my center channel. And a calendar is, drumroll please, a calendar. This is inclusive, however, of all of my courses and all of my groups. So I can get a great bird's eye view of all the different things I have to do in various courses. You'll see at the top of my calendar, I have this drop down. And this will allow me to look at individual or specifically selected calendars that I'd like to. So if I maybe want to look at just the calendars for these 3 classes, I can do that. And now Schoology will tell me that 3 of my 56 total calendars are being displayed. And if you're a little bit OCD like I am, I can go ahead and color code each individual calendar differently if I'd like, so that I can differentiate my calendars. All right, and if I ever want to get back to that bird's eye view of all of my calendars, I just remove these flags, and then voila, oops, all of my calendars are displayed once again. Real quickly, I'll walk you through how we create an event in the calendar just to show you. I'm going to go ahead and click into this cell. Anywhere you see these little orange asterisks, those are required fields. So I can go ahead and put a title in here. Maybe I'll call this cohort meeting. And I would enter in any of the instructions or descriptions that I would like. I want to highlight, whenever you see this rich text editor here, you have some advanced options, like you can bring in a link. And you want to take a look at this icon right here, this insert content icon, because that's going to pay dividends for you down the road when you start building out course materials. Notice that when I use this button here, I can bring in pictures, links, different types of symbols, And I can bring in files from all of the different installed applications I have within Schoology. Okay, and those are all brought in a specific area in our resources. And I'll point that out quickly before we go. But I have a direct integration to my Google Drive, my Microsoft OneDrive, if you utilize that. And we've got some other things like Khan Academy, Dropbox, and YouTube. Currently, Google Drive is what I use the most because I'm very active within Google Drive. So it's nice to have that direct connection right here in Schoology. All right. So if I had an agenda for this meeting that I built in Google Drive, I could go ahead and use this Insert Content button, select Google Drive, and you'll see that I get an instance of my Google Drive right here. So I could just grab a document, import it in, and you'll see that that would bring that right into my my event for me. So once I'm done, I want to also highlight that I have a bunch of attachment options. You're going to see a lot of places on the platform, okay? So I could attach a file from my hard drive, a link, bring something in from that resources area or that digital filing cabinet we talked briefly about. And anywhere on the platform where you see this microphone, all right, that's really helpful because it's a built-in flash audio tool. So your users, if I wanted to, I could maybe bring in a voice memo, a voice memo for just this departmental meeting. And I just use the record button and I could say, hi, everyone. We're going to be talking at the meeting today about utilizing the Schoology iPhone app. So please bring your iPhones. When I'm done, I just click insert and you'll see that that's attached right to this meeting for me. Another thing I want to highlight in this area for you, because you'll see it a lot of places across the platform, is this little magnifying glass button on the bottom right-hand side of this creation screen. And what this is doing is really allowing me to route this department meeting to a specific calendar, okay? So when I click that browse button, you'll see that I could select any one of my courses or all of my courses or any individual ones that I wanted to. So I never have to, I wouldn't have to create this meeting multiple times if I wanted to add it to different calendars. For this instance, I'm just going to add it to our group that I'm going to have you join in a little bit. And you'll see that this is now routed to that calendar. I click create. And now that cohort meeting is now on my calendar. When people see that in their calendars, you'll see that it's inclusive of all of the things that I attach to it. All right, so the last thing I want to point out with calendars, I won't belabor the point, but this is, you can also build different assignments, and everything that I have in my courses also appear on these calendars. So you can see that I have some homework that is due that was due last Friday in a different course. And what's the best part of the calendar, and what I use it the most for, is that if this meeting gets moved, instead of having to edit that item, all I have to do is click it and drag it and drop it to its new date. And now that's going to be automatically updated on all of the calendars that it affects. So anyone who is in this group, it will automatically update their calendar that this was moved. Where that pays dividends is if I'm teaching multiple sections of the same course and I want to quickly readjust due dates on items, all I have to do is drag them, and those due dates are updated, and all of my students will see those updates. All right, so that's really the power of the calendar. I'm going to pop back to the recent activity feed very quickly. I wanted to point out that in your recent activity feed, all right, and that's the default view when you click on that No Place Like Home button, you've also got what I call the quick post bar here at the top, all right? And that quick post bar allows me to add things to the system without having to navigate inside of a course or a group or my calendar. So I can create that same event without actually going into my calendar, simply by clicking on event here in the quick post bar. And you'll see that the creation screen looks just about the same, all right? So I could go ahead and create that event directly from this area. Once again, you'll see this post to magnifying glass, the browse button, and I could select any or all of my courses, all right, or and groups. Also from this quick post bar, you can post an update. All right, and I use this a lot to post updates, and I'll show you the benefit of doing so. Updates, remember, are sort of quick little bits of information that you're passing on to a group of individuals. So I could say, hey, finals are next week. Please get some rest and eat a good breakfast. All right. And then once again, I can go ahead and attach any sort of item that I want, or maybe I want to record a little pep talk via the audio recording tool. And I can click that magnifying browse, and I could post this to all of my courses where the finals are next week, or any groups that I want to pass that information to along. All right. So I really highlight that you can do a lot of great stuff right here from this home area without actually navigating into any of your courses or groups. So it's really, 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 really a powerful area, and I encourage you to kind of experiment and play with this quick post area. I also want to point out in the far right-hand column, okay, this is an informational guide. Now, since we are navigated to our home screen, know that this informational column pertains to all of the courses and all of the groups that we're associated with. So the upcoming area here is really kind of a quick breakdown of my calendar, all of my calendars, a view of all of my calendars. So I can see about 10 or so items that are upcoming. So I can see that I have assignments due tomorrow. And if I hover over any of these, it tells me exactly which course that item is for. What's even nicer is that I can direct click on the title of this in my informational column, and it'll take me directly to that assignment. So it's a really, really quick way to see what's upcoming and navigate around. And this upcoming view also is for students, all right? So this account we're looking at right now is Trainer Mike. That is a sample teacher account, instructor account. But this upcoming area is also there for students, okay? Let me hover up a little bit, and I want to show you this reminders area. What I really like about this reminders area is that as a teacher, any item that I have in my courses that has a due date on it, I'm going to get, and students make submissions, I get a reminder that I have yet to look at these various items. So you can see that I have 24 ungraded assignment submissions. So I'm a little bit behind on my work. Nothing is just aesthetic and nothing's just informational. These are all live links as well. So I can click on this 24 ungraded assignment submissions, and I can see exactly which assignments, how many of them, and if I hover, which courses they're in. So if I see I have 3 of these assignment number 1s for Indiana School for the Deaf, instead of going to my courses, navigating to that course, and then addressing that item, I can just click on it right here in my reminders area, and it will hot link me directly to that assignment, and I can see who I have to grade, all right? So it's a really, really quick and great area. Let me go back. Now there's one subtle difference, or not so subtle difference, I should say, between the student view and the teacher view. So let me swap over to a student real quick, just to show you. Instead of reminders, this student, Clark E. Kent here, has an overdue area. All right, so it's really, really effective. Anything that has a due date that has passed its due date, you'll see that Clark gets notification of it. And I once again have to curate Clark's account because he has a lot of homework he has yet to do. All right, and once again, these are all live linked, so I can click right on this pop quiz in my overdue area, and it will take me right to the quiz that I can do. All right, so we really make those shortcuts quick and easy for students. Next area I want to point out to you is your personal profile. Okay, and this goes for students and teachers as well, or instructors as well. On the top right-hand side of your screen, you'll see your name, hopefully. Hopefully it's spelled correctly. Go ahead and give it a click, and this takes you to your personal profile, all right? So this is sort of like your home screen in Schoology. You have your own post area here, so you can create updates. You can create personal updates from that quick post bar as well. And when you use that magnifying glass browse button, you would simply select a me. All right, that's your home profile area. And those posts will only show up on the recent activity feed of those people who have made like a friend request with you. Now, not only can you make posts in your area, but you can also see some various information about the user, which courses and which groups they're part of. And all of that all of that can be blocked via your privacy settings. And I'll show you where that lives in just a second. But I'd like to point out that if you hover over your profile image, you get an edit picture option. So that allows you to bring in a profile image that you feel best is best suited for the platform. All right. You also have info column if you want to add some additional information. Once again, you can block it so that your email address is not shown. So don't stress about that. In your personal profile, this is also where blogs are created. All right, this goes for instructors and students. And in addition to blogs, this is also where portfolios live. I wish we had more time to talk about portfolios today. I think they're an amazing addition to the platform and can be used in a lot of ways. But you can always look in our awesome new help center for any information on portfolios that you might have. So I'll highlight where you can find our help center before we go today. Also, real quickly, just to let you guys know, I want to show you that next to your names in the top right, when we're talking about your profile, you're going to see this little drop-down flag. If you click that, you'll see you see that you get a bunch of different setting options. You should definitely look at all of those, but ones that I really highlight you look at sooner than later is this first notifications area. Go ahead and click that. And note that anything that happens on the system, okay, and you can see we break it down by academic, group, school, and personal, and you can see there's a lot of different things that can happen. All of these things, when they take place in your courses or groups, are going to activate what we call menu notifications. And those menu notifications live up here in the top right by this little radio tower, okay? So you can see that I currently have one new menu notification. And if I click on this area, it'll show me what that menu notification is. And I can see that Clark submitted a test or a quiz, all right? So, and all of these are live linked as well, so I could click on Fun Quiz and go and grade Clark's quiz right away. What I'd like to point out, though, is that these menu notifications can also, if you want, send you a personal email. So if you check out next to all of these items, I can select whether I want an email to be sent to me or not, okay? So really curate this list and decide what kind of things you want to send to your email. If you turn them all off, you won't get any personal emails, which is great for some people. I also have this mobile area. That's because I've been utilizing the Schoology app. And if you access this area from the app, you also can decide whether you want push notifications sent to your mobile device. So you have a lot of different app options. So I just wanted to highlight that notifications area for you to kind of make your decisions sooner than later. Protect yourself from getting unwanted emails. Additionally, you have a privacy settings that you might want to take a peek at, and you can sort of decide who can see what from this area. All right. I'm going to use that No Place Like Home button. All right, and the next thing I want to talk quick about is we've looked at our upcoming area. I passed quickly over messages. Just want to highlight that messages is sort of like internal Schoology emails. Okay, so you're just like sending an email, but not to their email. It's just inside of Schoology. And when you get new messages, they'll appear up here in the top right. There's nothing special about our messaging system. But I just want to point out that you also have those attachment options, all right? So if you want to send your colleague a voice memo or maybe share a document with them or a link or a file directly from your computer, you have those options inside of messaging as well. And if you get new messages, like I said, you'll get a flag indicating so. So that is your kind of main overview of your main screen and what information you can garner without actually going anywhere inside of Schoology, all right? But once you start having courses uploaded to the system that you have to teach, you will start accessing courses via this courses dropdown. Okay, so depending on how courses are brought in, you can create your own, but if they're being uploaded or brought in from an SIS by your system admin, your courses will be pre-populated inside of this dropdown, okay? Which is really nice that you won't have to create your own. Or maybe you will. I don't really know the specifics of your circumstance, but either way, the courses, once they are in the system, will live in this courses dropdown. Now, there's a couple of quick pointers I want to show you guys. And remember, this is all being recorded, so I know I'm blowing through quickly, so don't stress. The first thing is that, depending on how your courses are brought in, they might be listed in a very haphazard order here. And you might be very, 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 let's say, organized. That's the positive spin on it. And you want these to appear chronologically or in a specific order for yourself. There's this little icon down here at the bottom with an up and down arrow. It's very easy to miss. But if I click that, I'm able to drag and drop and reorder my courses drop down in any order that I see fit, okay, for my kind of organizational brain. So that's very, very helpful. Additionally, you have the ability to create additional courses here, to join additional courses. So you can operate as a teacher in a course or an instructor, even though you have a teacher account. And the way those differences are indicated is that anywhere you see a yellow crown, that means that you are the course admin in that course, all right, or the main instructor. Anywhere where you don't see that crown, that means that you are participating as a student inside of that course, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and jump inside of my inside of a sample course here. Let me find one. Which one did I want to use? Let's do this. Okay, so once I jump into a course of mine, you'll notice that I'm given a very similar 3-column layout that we saw with our home screen, okay? And they operate the exact same way. I'm going to work backwards this time, however. So in that far right informational column, now the upcoming area is going to only consist of information that pertains to this course. Whereas from my home screen before, you'll remember, I was getting a snapshot of upcoming items for all of my courses and all of my groups. But now, since I'm navigated directly inside of a course, the information over here is only going to be is only going to pertain to this course. Each course has a calendar as well. There's no separate tab for it over here. So instead, we just click on this little calendar icon on the right. And once again, I have a drag and droppable calendar right here in my course. So if I want to reassign the due dates on these items, I can simply drag them to next week, and they'll be updated for all of my students in this course. All right, I can also add items directly from the calendar, just like we did before. I can add events or assignments, but I choose not to use that workflow because there's easier ways to do it. All right. Additionally, when you get into your course, I want to point out that you have the ability to add a course profile image. And once again, just like in our profile, you can just hover over the image and you get an edit picture ability. I can click that and change the profile image for this course. Now, some people think that that's simply aesthetic, but I wanted to let you know that also in your courses dropdown, your profile image for your course also serves as a thumbnail for that course title in your dropdown. So I find it to be very helpful for students, especially if the image is somewhat indicative of what the course content is. All right. Now, within your course, you'll see an option for course options. Now, depending if you have any enrollments in the course yet, your first option is this View Course As. And this is a very powerful tool. When you get into using Schoology a little bit more at an advanced level, you'll see that we have a lot of options to individually assign various items to various students, which allows you to really differentiate your classroom very well. When you start doing that, however, you start to lose sight of who can see what at any given time. Okay, and so to kind of ease that confusion, you can use this View Course As option, and you can select any of the specific members of your course and look at the course from their perspective. So in this particular case, Clark is the only one enrolled in this course at this time. So I can click on him, and you'll see that Schoology tells me this is how my course looks to Clark, and I can see how he sees various items. This is also helpful in an online learning situation if you have students in a different time zone, and you just want to verify that their time zone, that the due dates of your items are being reflected correctly for their time zone. You can check that in this area as well. Within that course options dropdown that I just utilized, that's also a great place to target messaging, okay? So instead of using individual Schoology messaging, and I would have to type in each student's name individually to send them a message, from within a course where we're all gathered, I can use course options, send a message, and now I can send that message to all the members or even all the parents associated with those members, all right? That may or may not affect you depending on how you choose to bring in parents, if at all, to the system. So just know that it's an option. But this is a great place. I can now send a message to my students regarding finals or what have you. And I have all those attachment options like we talked about before. So notice that I am defaulted to this materials section. The two main sections in courses I like to point out is materials and updates. I'm going to start with updates. So that updates area, this is just like those updates we created from the quick post bar about 30 minutes ago, okay? So though I could route those updates directly to my courses from the quick post bar, I could also make those posts directly from inside of the course. So when I make this post at this time, I can go ahead and this will be posted to this course's updates only. Okay, so if I post that, not only does this appear in the updates area for this course, but it will also appear in the recent activity feed for all of the people associated with this course. All right. And note that while I'm doing this, once again, I have this copy icon that's going to allow me to post this to other courses as well at a glance. So we always give you the option to post to multiple realms whenever possible. All right. So once again, this area is going to be visible to only people associated with enrolled in this course. All right. That materials tab on this left-hand side, this is where you build the meat of your course. Okay. This is where the backbone of the content you want available to your students lives. All right. So you're going to see at the top of your screen when you're inside of a course, the Add Materials button. And that's sort of your magic button where all of creation begins. So when I click that button, you'll see that I'm given a whole bunch of options. I can bring in folders, assignments, tests and quizzes, files, links, and external tools, pages, media albums, and I can bring things in from my resource area. Okay. Things that are assigned via due dates will appear in the upcoming side. All right. And you can see that I've utilized a folder organizational structure. So I use that Add Materials button and said Add Folder. All right. And you can see you can have a whole bunch of different areas here. I can give it a title. All right. I can color code, due date, if I wanted to add a date to this folder, but you don't have to. And you're always giving availability options. So you can decide whether you want that item to currently be visible or hidden to your students. And if you want to get really specific, you can add specific date ranges to the visibility of the folders. But that's a bit advanced if you're doing pre-planning or maybe working by unit, what have you. All right, so once you click Create, that folder will be created for you. I'm going to cancel out because I don't want to create a new folder currently. Once I've created all of my different folders, you'll see that I can start adding content inside of them. Now, as you're building items, I want to highlight that you can drag and drop items to reorder them inside of your materials section of a course, just to let you know that you are given options as to the aesthetic and how you want to organize things. Your folders all have these little carrots next to them, and that allows you to expand them so that you don't actually have to click in to a specific folder to view the kind of a bird's eye view of your whole organizational structure. I can really kind of get a good glance at how I have my course set up right from this view. All right. And as you bring in items, each item will have a little gear icon next to it that allows you to go back and edit that item, maybe copy it to another course. All right. So you can copy anything to another course or save it back to that digital resources folder that we talked about before. Okay. So real quick, let me just show you. If I choose that Add File Link or External Tool option, this is where I could bring in a file from my computer. All right, if I click that, it's just going to launch a file browser. I could select what I wanted to bring into the system. I could choose Link, and by clicking on Link, that'll allow me to type in a URL. And when I'm bringing in a link, I can decide whether I want that to display directly in Schoology inside of our iframe, or if I untoggle this, it'll open it in a new tab for them. So you're given some specific options. And once again, to highlight, I can always not just add this link to this course, I could add it to any or all of my courses simultaneously, which is nice. And you're always going to see an option with this green donut, and that's just deciding whether you want this visible to students currently or hidden for the time being. Use the Add Materials button again, and quickly show you what it's like to build an assignment in Schoology. I'm going to add an assignment, and we'll call this, let's really get my creative juices flowing. How about sample assignment? You can see I've done that before. Now, what's really interesting about Schoology, and it really we can get out of just doing things via text. You can use that insert content button and really start bringing multimedia into the classroom. So maybe for this assignment, I want to say, watch the following video and submit 500 words about what have you. Okay. I have to give it a due date. I'll say it's due next Wednesday. You want to associate a category how we organize our grade book. So I'm gonna create a new category and call this classwork. All right, and then down here you're given additional options. I can individually assign this to a specific student or set of students. I could align learning objectives, which is a great tool we have here in Schoology. Right here I'm saying that I'm going to allow digital submissions. I can copy this to another course and I can make it visible or not. All right. So once I have done that, I just want to show you a quick, just kind of a glimpse at some powerful tools we have. So I've gone ahead and found this this great TED Talk. All right. And you'll see that most interactive items across the web, you're going to be able to access what they call an embed code. All right. So you can embed things inside of your Schoology items. I'm going to use the share button here on YouTube, and I see that I have the embed option right here. So that's sort of the key word you're looking for when doing these types of things. I don't need to know what any of this gobbledygook means. I just need to copy it, find it, and copy it. And so just that glimpse, now I've said watch the following video. I could post a link to that website, but you know YouTube, when you go to YouTube, there's all these different search tools, and before you know it, everybody's looking at videos of dancing cats. So I'm going to embed this directly into my assignment so that my students, their attention is focused, all right? And just show you the kind of the power of this insert content tool, I'm going to go to image media. This is a piece of media I found from the web, and it's not an image, it's media. So I'm going to click on media, and you'll see that there's that hot word embed again. So I'm going to paste that code that I found on that YouTube video, insert the media, and there's that video directly in my assignment. Okay, so just like that, I was able to create a pretty interactive assignment. I create, and you'll see that that is added to my course. All right, so adding things to your course is very, very, very easy. Let me jump in to that assignment, and you'll see that when my students view it, that video is now embedded directly inside of the assignment. They can play it, they could write their paper, and then they would go ahead and find their submission area over here. Just to show you what that looks like from a student perspective. That student doesn't even have to go into that course. Remember, it should show up inside of the assignment here, inside of his upcoming view. So my student comes to that assignment, sees the video, watches it, writes his paper, and he could submit directly via this Submit Assignment button. Submitting for students is as easy as clicking Submit Assignment, and in this case, finding that file on their computer, double-clicking, and bringing it into the system. All right, so that's as simple as it is. When the teacher let me go back to my teacher account. When teachers finally get the assignments, they can grade within directly the assignment, or they could go directly into their grade book. Obviously, there's not a lot of content in this sample course currently, so this isn't a great demonstration of it. However, they could go into our grade book and just add into a specific cell how much that student scored. All right. And if they want to leave maybe an internal note, they can do that as well for themselves. So the other thing you have as a course admin is that to highlight is this members area in a course. And from that members area, you have the ability to, next to anybody's name as the course admin, you'll see the gear icon. You have the ability to send them a direct message, or you can make them an admin of your course. Okay, so if you have co-admins or dual teachers, you have that ability. All right, so the last couple minutes we have here, that's looking at the courses view. All right, I want to talk about groups very quickly. Groups operate exactly like courses, except there's no graded materials, okay? And so it's a much better place for sharing resources and or communication. So what I'd quickly like everyone to do is you should see a groups drop down up here. If you go ahead and click on groups, you'll see a join option. So go ahead and click on join. And I'm going to go ahead and drag over this access code here. I'm also going to paste it in the GoToMeeting chat panel. So you can copy and paste it if you choose. So go ahead and join my group real quickly, just so I can kind of show you the power of groups. And you can start thinking about what kind of groups you might create on your side and how you might want to use it. Right, let me see here. Okay, hold on.
I'm getting a message that it's not a valid access code.
You're right, because it's the wrong one. Dun, dun, dun. I just noticed that myself. Sorry, guys. Let me try again.
Where are we supposed to find this?
I'm going to repaste a new one. All right, try this one, guys. Sorry about that. Too many access codes.
Where am I supposed to go to do this?
So at the top of your screen, you'll see groups. So click on groups and then join down here at the bottom.
Okay, yeah.
You'll get that access code. And then I put it into that chat window, and here it is also. All right, there we go. So once we're in, I'm going to go ahead and quickly make all of you admins of this group as well. And you can feel free to continue to use it after all is said and done. This is where I'm going to post the recording of this video today. And what's nice about groups is that they never die. Whereas courses will expire at the end of their grading period, groups can live on forever. So it's a great place to continue maybe communication and collaboration regardless, without having any sort of date restrictions. Once we're in, let's all navigate to that updates area. Just like courses, we can have updates. And what's nice in groups is that everyone has the ability to post these updates. I also have the ability, so anything I post here will be seen by all of the group members, as well as appear on the group members' recent activity feed. So this is great to target communication. Just like in courses, this group has its own specific calendar, and all of us can go ahead and make edits to the calendar. All right, so all of us have that ability as we're sharing in this group. Additionally, and I think most powerfully, of course, we can also have discussions. We can all create discussions in this group. All right, if we want to have specific discussions, maybe we could have a discussion based on like a meeting, maybe an agenda meeting or whatever have you. But most importantly, I want to go down to the resources area. Now you can see that I've already added some resources here. So if you click into the resources I've added, I've got some helpful links to our Schoology blog, our support page. And the support page I want to highlight specifically because if you go to our support area, it looks kind of simple, but I want to let you know that the search is very powerful. So I mentioned earlier that portfolios are really cool, and maybe it's something you want to explore more, and obviously we didn't touch on it today. So I could just type in that keyword and search, and Schoology is going to bring up all of the key hits. All right, so our knowledge base is really, really thorough and built out, so I suggest taking a peek at some of these things. And so just to see, I'll click on how do I use portfolios, and you can see that you get a really, really granular and helpful with images kind of support page on how to do various things on the system. So I'm partial a bit to the support page because I helped. I was on the support team when I started back in the day. I think they do great work. And so I highly recommend remembering where this link is, this Schoology Support Home link. Additionally, you can find it by that drop-down arrow next to your name, and you can go to Help Center right there. All right. In here, I've also put a couple of other links and some quick reference cards of how to do various different things on the system. Since today was only sort of a brief overview, you can get some more information directly from these cards if you'd like. Additionally, I have some tutorials via video form that I put in this folder for you. So these are all links to videos of how to do various things in our course or in Schoology. And then I also have some student resources that you can share with students if you'd like. And what's nice from these about groups is that anything that's stored in a group resource area, notice that let's say these student resources were really helpful, you think would be helpful for students that you work with. All of you should see this little gear icon to the right of that thing, of that folder. And if you click it, you can either copy this to your personal resources area, all right? So you can select Home, or you can add this right to a course. So let's say you're teaching a course and you want to share this with your students. You can add this to a course directly from this resource area. What else is really neat about the resource area is everybody go ahead and click on the Resources tab again, just to get back to this main resource view, and click on Add a Resource. Now, pick any one of these items, all right? Maybe assignment or file or link, and just quickly add something to this resource area. I'll add an assignment template, all right? And I'm just, you don't have to fill it out very thoroughly. This is just a test here, so I'm going to call this test assignment. Type something in the description box, and then just submit it. All right. And as you do that, you'll see that one great thing I love about the resource area is that it is an excellent, 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 excellent area to quickly collaborate on and build out a resource area with colleagues quickly together. All right. So once you add an item or two, you'll note that everyone within the group can see who it was added by, and it's time stamped. And what's nice is that since groups are collaborative, no matter who adds that piece of content, everyone inside of that group has the ability to edit it. So any one of you could go in and edit this assignment and make a change to it if you wanted to. All right. Now, the power of collaborating via resources is pretty evident within groups. So I encourage you to kind of think about what kind of groups you want to create inside of Schoology. But I also want to highlight to you that we have a lot of public groups as well. And these are great things you might want to join at the very beginning of your usage of Schoology. If you click on that groups drop down again, you'll see a little magnifying glass at the bottom that says Find Public Groups. I'm going to click on Public Groups. And you'll see that some of these groups, like Schoology Educators, has close to 24,000 members. And so if you go ahead and flag that group and join it, you'll see that once we go in here, not only are the discussions very, very thorough and engaging, but their resource area, you'll have the resources of over 24,000 people all shared with you. And you can take any of these items, add them to your courses, or copy back to your resources area. So resources and groups are really, really powerful collaborative tools. In addition to courses, which you can build out all that content, which we talked about, the platform starts to get really, really powerful. So we're going to end a few minutes early here. I know you guys have another meeting at noon. So I wanted to let you know that inside of that group that we joined together, that Shalom Learning group, I'm also going to paste this video recording, and I'll put that in the resources area inside of this Schoology resources folder. And I should have that up, I'd say, by the end of the day today, if not much sooner. And of course, you guys can contact me and ask me any questions you might have as you work through via the members area. Just find Trainer Mike, use that flag, and select send message. All right, let's get you guys out of here to your next webinar.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks.